left channel, right channel, center.
VTuber 一問一答自己紹介
Yeah, and the tape's
それじゃあ
rolling.
行くよせーのお名前は
Katt Phloxworthy.
呼び方は
Just Cat is fine.
あなたは何系 VTuber?
Nerdy cat girl who features spaceflight.
誕生日は
May 4th.
年齢は
Older than Pneumatic.
性別は
Transgender
身
female.
長は
4'11".
出身は
Sacramento County.
チャームポイントは
Dialogue hair clip.
突然ですがモノマネどうぞ
Yeah, what's up, Dad?
活動場所は
Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
はじめの挨拶
Thank you for joining me.
終わりの挨拶
Bye.
推しマークは
Not at present.
配信タグは
Catlight feed.
ファンアートは
Cat pics.
ファンネームは
Cat's apprentices.
好きな色は
Iris Indigo.
好きなことは
Vintage computers and
得
video.
意なことは
Technology.
ここで一言愛の告白好
I love you.
きな食べ物は
Ethnic foods.
好きな飲み物は
Craft soda.
好きな漫画は
Pizza 10.
好きなアニメは
Planet.
好きなゲームは
Left 4 Dead 2.
好きな音楽は
Classic rock.
苦手なことは
Human stupidity.
尊敬するのは
Space furry people.
叶えたい夢は
ISS crew
最後にみん
interview.
なに一言どう
Thanks
ぞ
so much for your support and a final status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
Go Katt Phlox.
You have permission to launch.
3, 2, 1. RD-180 ignition. Booster ignition and liftoff of Atlas V and Centaur. Hello everybody, and hopefully this time I will not go down like things happened the other night. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Katt Phloxworthy here. I'm really sorry things went sideways the way they did the other night. Hopefully things should be okay now, because what I ended up doing, what I was originally doing was using a Wi-Fi USB adapter plugged into the ESXi box that has VyOS on it, and then using USB pass-through, which can work on just about any machine, VTT, IOMMU instructions or not. But apparently it is kind of dicey. I'm not sure if it's, I wonder if it's, I don't know if it's at the ESXi level, or if it's at the Linux level in the VyOS VM. But every now and again I would lose my internet connection, and it actually happened during having multiple streams open at the same time, watching them. And it's like the host adapter that on the computer side decided to disappear, and it's like, oh boy. I go check the configuration. I mean, I check the interface status on the VyOS, and the wireless adapter is missing. And it's like, how does that happen? I don't know. But rather than diagnose it, I said, you know what? Let's just skip all the thing. I was actually actively considering going out and getting a PCI Express Wi-Fi adapter, and I thought to myself, let's just cut through the whole tangle and get an external device like an external Wi-Fi router. Maybe load something like DDWRT or OpenWRT on it, and then set up Ethernet bridging. Unfortunately, most of the new routers these days, like the ones that support, most of the ones that support wireless AC, and just about none of them that supports wireless AX, are supported are supported by either of those two firmware installations, and so I had to make do with the software that's actually built into the router itself. And it seems to be working just fine right now. I'm looking at I'm watching the status of the stream, and of course watching the stream itself, and it looks good that I can tell. So, in any event, that's what I've had to do. It's basically set up Ethernet bridging. Basically, that wireless router acts as a client, and then hands all the Ethernet frames coming from my ESXi box off to the router that it's connected to, and it seems to be working pretty well thus far. But the real test will be a much longer stream. And one thing I've also noticed is, I'm not sure if it is, I saw an error earlier on my vStream console. I don't know what's happening to it, but apparently, and every now and again, I'm actually seeing encoding glitches, and I don't know what's happening on that side. So we are So basically, this is just little more than a shakedown stream, just to make sure that more of a test stream, just to make sure things are working, and then I'll do an actual gaming stream possibly later on this evening. I've got a few things to take care of today. Most notably, AT&T is hopefully coming over a little bit later today and getting my connection in. Unfortunately, though, it is not anywhere close to being optimal for streaming, but it'll probably be useful as a backup and for other purposes. And on top of that, it's my connection. So if I ever go to another place where they, for example, have light speed that gives me better connectivity, or I go to an area that's actually supported by AT&T fiber, I'll have the gear ready. But in any event, the main thing I wanted to do this stream for was just to make sure everything was working. And like I said, nothing is being passed through via external peripherals other than what's going over the Ethernet interfaces, which is what we want. And also a bit of a note on that machine. I have recently added a few more devices. I've actually added a second 2-port Ethernet card into a PCI Express 1-lane slot. It has it's dual gigabit Ethernet, so I've actually plugged both of them in, because one of the things that when you build up a virtual switch in ESXi, one of the first things it does after you add one port on there, if you don't add another, it'll say, hey, put in another one so you can have some redundancy. Yeah, sure, okay. So I did. And so now I have, originally I had the 4-port, I had a 4-port card in there that it came with, and I would plug AT&T into one port, which I will be once it comes in, and the other one is coming through a different link from a different ISP, and it's going through a different port, and I could have 2 more. And if worse comes to worse, I can actually do VLANing and bring them in on my switch, and basically say, okay, port this is going to be AT&T, one's going to be Comcast, one's going to be T-Mobile, one's going to be from some other ISP or whatever. It's basically options. I like having options available. So, yeah. In any event, I just wanted to make sure everything is working, and thus far, everything seems to be working just fine. I'm looking at the Twitch stream. Everything seems to be holding stable. I'm also checking the YouTube stream right now as I speak here, and everything seems to be doing okay. VStream, like I said, I'm seeing encoding artifacts every now and again, and a little bit frequently, more frequently than I'd like to see. Although again, I'd have to check the VOD to be absolutely certain to see if it's actually something that's something I need to look at. So anyway, like I said, these last couple of streams were just engineering test streams, just to make sure everything is working and ready to do an actual stream. And now everything looks like everything's been running solidly thus far, and I am happy with that. Because before, things just were not working at all. The interface that goes up to my my housemate's Wi-Fi would just outright not just drop the connection, but drop entirely off the machine. As in, I go look at to see what the interface status was. The interface is not just down, it's not even there. In fact, I just saw an encoding artifact just now on the stream. Yeah, and there's another one. Yeah, pardon that sound. That's my cell phone going off, because that's our local affiliate KCRA saying that there's a news story on. Our NBC affiliate KCRA. I've got their app on, and I didn't bother to silence the phone. The thing is, I'm just trying to make sure that everything is working, and at this point, there's stuff going on VStream. Like I said, I need to look at the VOD later, see what's going on, and then make reports accordingly and say, hey, something's going on. I don't know what it is, and on top of that, I need to see what that message I saw earlier was, or if I can even reproduce it. But and on top of that, this connection also has one other feature that I'm really happy about. It's much faster. I am now running at 6 megabits on all 3 connections. When I was with AT&T at the old place, which gave me 20 megabits worth of upstream. I was running 5 megabits on all 3 of those services, and I had about 5 megabits left over. Now I have 6 megabits running at 18 megabits total, with a grand total of, oh my goodness, I'd say about 62 plus megabits left. So I could actually add another one, e.g. Trovo, which I do have a configuration for and an account on. So if you want to check that out, by all means, go ahead and do so. But as soon as I can do some more engineering tests, I'll probably add that as well. But in any event, I just wanted to make sure everything is working. It looks like it's working on Twitch and YouTube. The only thing is, I don't know what's happening on VStream, and but otherwise everything seems to be okay that I can tell. But yeah, everything's looks solid thus far, and I'll probably do a real shakedown stream a bit later this afternoon or in the evening. I'm looking at playing a game, possibly Borderlands 2. Possibly one of the JRPGs I started and really should continue. Possibly Quake 3, which is in its end game. So we'll see. And but in any event, I need to check in with the folks over at VStream to see what's going on and say, hey, something's happening. I'm getting encoding artifacts. What's happening? I don't know if it's my setup or what's happening, or something else is going on in the matrix. So in any event, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right now. So thank you so much for coming by, and I'll have to review the VODs and see how things look. And until then, Slava Ukraini, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming by. Bye.